I don't think I do it.
But Arsenal started like a house on fire. Signing number 2 for this new era. It's Judgment Day, people. Yeah! What did your boy tell you? It was never in doubt. Never in doubt. Don't believe in any luck, I believe I'm self-made, yeah. Now then, people, welcome back to the Just Joe Football Show. And it's time for your Leeds versus Southampton match day preview. I hope you are all doing well this morning and looking forward to today's game. Obviously, it does kick off at, what time does it kick off? It kicks off at 3 p.m. Of course it does. It's another 3 p.m. kickoff. And I've just noticed my Wi-Fi's gone sketchy as, right? So I'll probably all be like mad pixelated and stuff right now. So just stick with it because it will sort itself out. I promise you about that. I don't know why it's done that. I might have to check it. I am home alone currently, which means I can't get someone to do me a Wi-Fi check, which is a nightmare. Hopefully it'll sort itself out. It is beginning to sort itself out. While it does that, I'm going to do this again and then come back to you, all right? Because I really enjoy it. I don't think I do it. But Arsenal started like a house on fire. Signing number 2 for this new era. It's Judgment Day, people. Yeah! What did your boy tell you? It was never in doubt. Never in doubt. Don't believe in any luck, I believe I'm self-made, yeah. There you go. The Wi-Fi sorted. Yeah, the intro's back. A lot of love for that as well, by the way. Big up to Lewis Day and LUFC. Lewis, who sorted out that for me. It is quite special. I do really enjoy it. I am just going to tweet out as well that we are currently live. If you could share it on your social media, or if you don't want to do that, just like the video, yeah? Liking the video is mint for the algorithms. I know people get frustrated when I do it and I mention it and all that sort of stuff, but it really massively helps the channel and helps people to get eyes on it. It is, so as you know, this season I will be doing watch along for all the Leeds United games. So what that means is as well, on the morning of each game, I will do a match day preview. I think it's better to do it on the day, get the juices flowing, get excitement. People might be traveling to the game that like to watch my channel, or you might be sat at home thinking, what can I do? I'm waiting for 3 o'clock. Like, oh, I know, 10 o'clock, Saturday morning, Joe's got his match day preview. Sunday, whenever the game is, you know, we'll work out a time for it, so you know where you're out. Yeah, James, bang on the money. This is what happens, man, when you sell your soul and you start wearing vests, basketball vests. You have sold your soul to the devil. I honestly cannot believe that. I was like, what? And I was talking about another team as well, which you're not allowed to do. But listen, this is the Leeds versus Southampton preview. So based on what I've just said to you, we're not going to talk about Southampton at all because we're not allowed to. I'm joking, of course. Right, look, I'm confident. Whether or not that's a positive omen or not for you, I don't know. But I'm feeling rather confident. Southampton aren't in a good place. I know that never means a good thing for Leeds United, but I think it's different. They're not in a good place. There's a lot of unrest. Behind the scenes, people don't want Ralph. The players themselves believed he would have been sacked in the summer. Instead, they got rid of all the coaching staff and left Ralph in charge. Apparently, even the coaching staff that have come in are not too keen on his methods. He's bombing people out. You know, last week he played with the front two of a reborn Armstrong and he's got Shea Adams on the bench. And then when substitutions were made, he still didn't bring Shea on. You know, I listened to a lot of Southampton content creators in preparation for doing this to get what their thoughts are. They all want Shea in the side. No one wants him to leave, you know. So it's clearly maybe there's a little fallout between there, because if you remember, Ralph was big on him because he was the one that, you know, refused Leeds United to sign him back in January when we were in the Championship. And we bid 20 million, by the way. And now all of a sudden he's open to offers for him. So things are not great at Southampton. Yeah. Look, Leeds United are in good fettle. You know, we only won 4 games at home last season, right? And we've already seen one. I know we're away, but there's a real chance for momentum now for me to get 2 from 2. That would be great, right? as long as we don't have a repeat of last season, because for me, that was one of the worst performances under Marcelo Bielsa. It was really, really tough to watch. We've had a couple of them games. Brighton was always one. Southampton, we have a decent record against. But last season, that game was so poor. Southampton have only beat us once in the last 5, so history's on our side. They've drawn 1 and lost 3. So like I say, we're in good fettle. If we look at Southampton and just focus a little bit on them and their transfer activity, they have definitely changed tact. I think the owners want to switch it up and are looking to bring in young players with a big resale value or the opportunity to resell them. Sean Healy with the super chat says, all right, Joe, love the jersey, bro. Such a nice kit. I think 3-1 Rodrigo and Bam Bam. Yeah, I hope you're right, mate. I know. Do you know what? I've been going to the gym. I haven't been able to fit into this for a long time. It is small. And my belly meant it rid up. But the gym's working because I fit in it. So I'm happy about that, right? So I am actually happy about that. So thank you for that. It is a lovely little piece as well. Their transfer activity is full of youngsters. Sekou Mara from Bordeaux, Romeo Lavia from Manchester City, of course, who we were interested in. Bella Kotchap, who I think is a centre-back. Bazuna, the goalkeeper, I think. Obviously, bought in Joe Rebo from Rangers, who's a good player as well. But there is a real focus there on bringing young players in with real sale value. And I would say the standout in that crop is, of course, Romeo Lavia. And even though they were beat last week by Spurs, he stood out. Even in that loss, he played really, really well. So he's someone we need to have special focus on today, just to see how Romeo Lavia gets on. Obviously, he knows he would have been linked to Leeds as well. Maybe conversations were had. Maybe he'll have a point to prove. All these sort of things go on in the background. Look, they were battered last week. They did score, but that was totally against the run of play. Saints were terrible. They were really, really terrible against Tottenham. I know it's Tottenham, but, you can still perform against poor sides and still get beat. They didn't perform. They were battered, There's a lot of Southampton fans think they're in danger of the drop. They're really, really concerned. If we look back to last season, they've won 1 game in 14, and that was against Arsenal, so they can show up. They can show up. We know how Ralph is. Don't forget, he once beat Klopp and cried. That's a big, big thing, isn't it, when you beat Liverpool? Once. Like, not in an FA Cup final, not in a semi-final, just in a league game, standard league game. Tears, man. Mental. 1 win in 14 when we stretch it back. So the rut is definitely setting. During that time, they lost 10 games and conceded 34 goals. 34 goals. And that's, for me, where I get the positives from, because I think we can run all over these. I do. With our press, I think we can run all over these. Really impressed with Aronson. Bamford, of course, we know how well he does from the front. Be a lot to ask of Rodrigo, but again, them 5 subs could come into play for us, where we can bring on James, who's on the bench, Sinisterra, who's on the bench. So I think we can run all over these. And because of them conceding so many goals, 34 goals in total, in them 14 games, which is a hell of a lot of goals. It's almost as bad as Leeds United when we were conceding all them goals. That's sort of, it seems to me now that Ralph Hasenhüttl is petrified of his defence. They lost Vestergaard, if you remember. Salisu had a good season last season. They've still got Bednarak. Don't rate him at all. I think he's gash. So it seems to me that Ralph is petrified about defending, and he's giving up his attacking prowess in order to make sure they're difficult to beat. But they're not really difficult to beat, it seems. Tim Mason says, don't jinx it by saying we're going to batter them. Listen, I don't believe in jinx. Yeah, I don't believe in that stuff. I think we will win. I'll give you my score prediction a little bit later on. But I do think we could run all over them, and I'm not sure about them defensively. And now there's Ralph. That's why he's going with that back 5. He played a back 5 against Spurs. It wasn't just because they were playing Spurs. He's done that throughout pre-season. So I imagine they'll maintain that. Listening to a lot of Spurs fans, they want wholesale changes. I heard them say they would prefer the back 4. They don't rate Bednarak, would like to see him come out. He's one that I would target specifically when he's got the ball in the press. They want to go with a back four. I heard people say, why is Aribo starting up top? I think Josh Hobbs said midweek on All Stats that maybe he played there once for Rangers. But he's a centre midfielder by trade. They wanted to see him come back. Shea Adams back in the side, play with two up top. I think it'll be largely unchanged. Maybe Perrault comes in at left back, obviously previously linked with Leeds United, because the week before against Spurs, they played Gineppo there. He's a winger. Ralph, as I said at the start, falling out with players left, right, and centre. Some want him sacked. Maybe that's why Shea's out in the cold. If I'm him, I play Shea today, but whether or not he will. But listen, it's not all doom and gloom. They have some good players to Southampton. Kyle Walker-Peters, top player. James Ward-Prowse, top player. Like Jesse said last season, don't give any fouls around the box because it's like a penalty. What did we do last season at Ellen Road? We gave a foul in almost the perfect position for James Ward-Prowse. And what did he do? He put it in the back of the net. Yeah. So we need to be wary about that. Andy says 6 more likes for 100. As I say, if you don't want to share it on social media, you're not a member or whatever, please do support the channel just by liking the content. It massively helps. Please like the videos and get them likes smashed up. We're currently on 99. We've got nearly 300 people watching. So there's about 200 of you that haven't liked the video. So please do like the video. It's such a massive game for Southampton as well. Because they have a very, very difficult run after this. And they won't want the rut to set in. The Saints crowd is not... Listen, I'm not saying it's a raucous crowd at best of times. It's not. But even them are questioning Ralph. And if Leeds United can start well and start early, we can really start to turn that crowd. Could we hear boos? That's never good. That's never good. Unrest from the terraces is never good for the team's performance. Never good. So, it's such a big game for them. Will they be up for it or are they down in tools? Because after Leeds United, they face Leicester, Man United and Chelsea. So this could be the start of the end for Ralph Hasenhüttl. If they are to lose this game today, I don't see how they pick up points against Leicester, Manchester United or Chelsea. I don't. And at that point, you've played 5 games, you've got 0 points on the board. So... And for me, if I'm being honest, we have to beat Saints. If we want to stay away from that drop, based on the form that they're in, the unrest that's at the club, we have to beat them. If we want to, and that's not taking them for granted. Any game in the Premier League is tough. But for me, if we want to be mid-table, pushing towards the top 10, you have to beat Spurs. You have to beat Wolves. They're not, and we did that. They're not going to have a great season like they did last season. We can see that. So you have to beat them, and you have to beat Spurs. And like I say, we can really start. If we start well, yeah, this is what I'm saying. This is what's already in the Saints fans' process, and also Ralph's. He's worried about conceding goals. He knows he's got Leicester, Man United, and Chelsea on the horizon. He's thinking it's a must not lose. I can't lose this game. Let's go back 5. If we can get on them and get on them early, boom, score early. Let's get amongst it. The crowd turns. Leeds United could have a really good day. And, focusing specifically on us now, we get 2 wins and it's real momentum. Did I? Mohammed said beat Southampton, you mean? Did I say someone else? Sorry. I'm getting overexcited. I'm getting overexcited because I'm really positive for the game going into it. Did I say Spurs? Right, okay, I meant Southampton because Andy Harrison's my good friend and he's a Man United fan. He said, we won't beat Spurs. So I must have said Spurs. My apologies. I meant Southampton. Getting excited. But yeah, look. Oh, I did say Spurs. Right, okay. Yeah, we're not beating Spurs. We're not beating Spurs either. Nah, forget about that. Sorry. I should have used my soundboard, shouldn't I? And gone, bruh. For those that will be joining me on the watch along as well, by popular demand, I did add this. We'll save that though. Okay, we'll save that. Make sure you join me for the watch along as well. That we'll be going live at 2:30. I've got some more little tricks or treats for you for that. So look, for me, big chance for momentum. No, it's not a beer, Rob. No, it's a Monster, mate. I don't drink, pal. It's Monster energy. I need the energy on the big days. Michael saying, "What bets have you got today?" I'll discuss them with you in a bit. Jay Smith says the soundboard gets better every week. I know. It's listen on Southampton,
and I'll tell you honestly, I will love it if we beat them. Love it.
That's my thought process. Thanks, Kev. Listen, if we get 2 wins, it's real momentum, as I say. And it's to stay away from the drop or even get pulled in. You know what I mean? We don't even want to be anywhere near that. We don't even want to be in the conversation, do we? We don't even want to be in the conversation. And I heard an awesome stat on the Phil Hay show Friday, I think it was. I think it was on Match of the Day 2 as well by Opta. The stat goats. If you get 8 points from the first 5 games, you have a 96% chance of staying up. That's huge. If we win today, we're on 6. We're on 6. You know? So we're almost there. I know it's still too early, right? But we know last season we didn't get our first win till October. As I discussed at the start, we only won 4 at home all season. We've already won 1. You know what I mean? So that's a great stat, I think. Because, okay, Chelsea's going to be tough next week, but then we've got some more winnable games. The fixture list for me was kind to Leeds United this season. Wasn't the previous 2. We still came through it. But if we can get 8 points from the first 5 games, 96% chance of staying up. And listen, 2 wins on the 2. Listen, if results go our way, at the end of today, we could be top of the league. Imagine that. I'll take it every day of the week. I'll take it every day of the week. Now you know I am getting giddy because I'm talking about as being top of the league. It is what it is. Look, form-wise, Leeds have won 3 of the last 5 meetings against these. Yeah. Bamford has a decent record against Southampton as well. So I think Bamford scores today. If I was to tip you for the first goal scorer, I would go Bamford. I don't think it'll be a great game to watch. It will be pretty scrappy. I think it could break down a lot just because of the way teams both play. I don't see any sort of sustained pressure. It could be a little bit like a basketball match, a bit frantic. But that's okay. We're used to that. Leeds United are used to that, aren't we? Yeah, Alex says Bamford's going to score. I agree. Sean Healy is putting in the super chats asking for the Team America soundbite. Well, and on that, I think just on Jesse Marsh and the team, I think will go unchanged. I did question that potentially we might see Cooper come in just because he's club captain and that, but I think he'll go unchanged. The great thing is as well, we now have a much better bench. James is on there. Imagine, late on, we're running all over them. You bring on James. Bam, he's going to use that pace, get all over Bednarak. He might be worth a yellow card shout because I do think he will come on. Sinistera, we know, is going to get minutes as well. Really, really excited to see him running at Bednarak, running at Salisu. You've got Forshaw, if we need to protect a lead, for him to come on for a Rocker or an Adams and protect the ball, pass it left to right, do his little turns as he does, back to the centre-back, give it me back, just keep us ticking over if we're winning the game. You've got Mateus Klick, who was an absolute game changer. I feel like I owe Klick an apology as well, because yesterday an American journalist who follows me and who I speak to actually messaged me and said, look, my friend's done a piece on the Americans. Could you drop it a retweet? So I dropped it a retweet and I discovered this small clip that had no eyes on it whatsoever of Mateus Klick snapping Tyler Adams in training. So I was like, bloody hell, Klick, and I give it a retweet. It's now gone mental. I don't know if any of you have seen that, but I'm assuming you are if you are on social media. It's a little bit wild. Andy says 27 more likes for 200. Please do like the video. As I say, it's a way to help and support the channel. Barry, let me just address this. I don't think you listen to what I say whatsoever. I don't think I have ever said Cooper is world class. So if you think that's cringe, you're making that up in your own head, because I've never said he's world class. So you're cringing at yourself, bro, because I've never said he's world class. I said Jesse is on record as saying he is the best captain he's worked with. Yeah. Every single manager, while Liam Cooper has been here, has made him club captain. So he obviously has the ears of the group and is regarded as a club captain, a top captain. So I think if he's fully fit, Jesse will bring him into the side. That has nothing to do with me thinking he's world class, because I don't. So if you think it's cringe, you're making stuff up to be cringing about. So, you know, that's on you, not on me, because I never said he was world class, bro. You know what I mean? So there you go. Also, just another key stat. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Then Barry's coming back at me. He says, I've got it wrong. Well, I'm sorry, Barry. All right. I'm highly charged. I'm excited. I'm excited for the game. But I've never said he's world class. Nor do I think he's world class. Mr. Kipper says you've always... I definitely didn't. I do like him, though. Like, don't get me wrong. But I've even said, and I'm a staunch Cooper supporter, and you guys that watch me know that I've said, for continuity, I don't think he should come in, because he will break down a number of times throughout the season. And I think it's time for the phasing out process. And I would like to see a settled centre-back partnership for 38 games of a season. So even that's me, a staunch Cooper supporter. If I knew Cooper could give us 38 games in a season, I would start him. That's just my opinion. But I don't think he can. So therefore, go with the centre-back partnership that will last. And for me, that would have been Strauch and Koch and Yelder at left back. That would have been my two, because they're the ones that will stay the fittest for me. Because I think Llorente could, drop out. I think it could drop out. Yeah, people have just said they've had a look at the click challenge. Listen, Tyler Adams gets up, don't bother him. Jesse Marsh likes an aggressive team. People are reading far too much into it. Like, listen, fights happen in training that we're not even wary of. It gets tasty at times. And it won't surprise me. I had this thought process. Jesse will have probably had a word with these sort of players to say, don't go easy on him. Because it's a big adaptation to have in the Premier League, because them sort of challenges happen every week. So it's like, welcome to the Premier League, Tyler. Do you know what I mean? Welcome to the Premier League, Tyler. I do feel a bit sorry, because then I almost felt bad for putting it out there, because people were then tagging Andrea Radrazani and Jesse Marsh and Click and saying this is a disgrace and that. And I was like, oh, what are we doing here? Like, let's not do that. Because, you know, if it was bad, they'd have had an argument. But Tyler got straight back up. You know what I mean? Bamford just picked up the ball. No, there's nothing to it. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing to it, in my opinion. And Jesse likes an aggressive side. He likes aggression. We've seen that from him as a player, but we've seen it on the touchline, all that sort of stuff. So don't worry too much about it. So back to the match on itself. Leeds United will be unchanged. You've got a great bench in James, Sinny, Forshaw, Click. You've got the youngsters to call upon, Gelhardt, Greenwood. Will we see Gray at some point? I think they'll be safe for the Barnsley Carabao Cup tie. I'm looking forward to that game. I never looked forward to cup games under Bielsa, because he just threw them. Under Jesse, I think he'll try for a cup run, but he will also give minutes to some of the players in the side as well. Yeah, John. Yeah, there is something in that, John H, I think. Now, also, another key stat, right? We know these are all pointing to a Southampton win, aren't they? I should stop it, but I'm going to give it you, because that's what I'm here for, right? So we know about their current run. We have a good record against them. Also, Southampton have not won their first home game of a Premier League campaign since 2004-2005. So that would have been 2004. That's 8 years. 8 years they've not won a Premier League game at home on the first game at St. Mary's. So that's something to think about as well. These sort of hoodoos, these historical things do matter in football. Leeds have been great on the road under Jesse Marsh as well. That's something that we will carry over this season. That's something that we can take a lot of solace from. That under Jesse Marsh, away from home, we were good. We won 3 of our last 5 away games as well. And think about the fact that, you know, we were under such pressure during that time as well. We're not under as much pressure. Lee says, get your money on a home win. Then I know how the Leeds fans' head works. Jay Smith says, Joe, will you bloody shut up, man? I know, I'm sorry, but it is what it is. I should have like a button, should I, like start time, shut your ears, mute, because I'm going to bring it to you. So, listen, everything points towards a Leeds United win. For me, personally, yeah. Oh, Callum says, see, I told you maths is not my strong point. I thought, what did I say? 8 years. 2004. I'm thinking it's 2012. It's not. It's 2022. So, yeah, 18 years. 18 years, not 8. Okay, 18 years, right? Look, and like I said earlier, victory here at St. Mary's, we could be top of the table. I was about that, yeah? Now, if you're a betting man or you like to have a dabble, some things to be wary of. Both teams have scored in only 2 of the last 10 meetings between these sides. So not an awful lot of goals historically. Leeds have been the first to score as well in 4 of the last 5 games. Southampton haven't kept a clean sheet in the last 3. Leeds have no losses in the last 3 as well. But we have no clean sheet in 5. So, you know, take from that what you will. Both teams have scored in only 2 of the last 10 meetings. First to score. I think Leeds United score. I think we score first. I think we might see a clean sheet in this game as well. So I'm going to go for a 2-0 Leeds United win with Bamford to score first. I think that is my hot tip. That would be my pick. I think Leeds United will score first. I do think we'll win. I think we have a decent record against them. Bamford has a decent record against them. Everything surrounding Southampton at the minute tells me Ralph's going to get sacked. And I think we're better than them. I agree with Alex. I just think we're better than them. I don't think the style that he's gone out with in terms of the back 5 suits them. If he changes that and rips it up, and he might do, then it could be different. 400 watching now, that's good. So I'm going for a Leeds United win at 2-0. Vivi, I understand why you would go both teams to score as well. You could go for both teams to score, Leeds win, Bamford scores in 90 minutes. That might be a good builder bet for you, you know what I mean? Let me just check that, because I am going to just have to check this on SofaScore, because I swear when I read it before I made my notes, both teams have scored in 4 of the last 5 games, but I've written it as I've scored in only 2. I'll tell you, let me just check live TV and all that. Previous meetings between both sides. No, right, okay. Let me just check my other place. It wasn't on SofaScore that I seen it. Sorry about this, folks. I just want to check something. No, yeah, I was right. So both teams have scored in only 2 of the last 10 meetings. If we look at our previous games between both sides, so it was 1-1 last time, 1-0 Southampton, 2-0 Leeds. So obviously last season that 1-1 at Ellen Road after a James Ward-Prowse free kick, that was one of the times. So for me, I think, you know, although we haven't kept a clean sheet in 5 games, I think today we might. I know Bamford's going to score. I can feel it. Patrick Bamford. He's on fire, mate. So I think Bamford's going to score, right? Bamford's going to score. Leeds United are going to win the game 2-0. Aaronson's going to have a barnstorm and maybe gets an assist. The bench will be used. Key point as well, the heat's going to play a factor. Jesse mentioned this in his press conference. He said he's worked under these conditions before. We know we have the water break, but I think Leeds United will use their 5 subs to great fruition this season. I was never up for it. However, I've changed my opinion on it, having seen how we dealt with it in the first game, how we played and how our style is. It's more suited to them 5 subs. The lads are lagging, right? Let's make some changes, get some players on there. So look, I'm really looking forward to the game. I think we'll win. I think we'll win the game 2-0 and Bamford will score. I think we might get a clean sheet, which would just be great. And listen, if we win the game, we could be top. We could be top by the end of the day. That might be nice. Lee says he's in my FPL, was going to captain Bamford, but bottled it and captain Haaland. Yeah, listen, if you've got Salah or Haaland, just be captaining them. Don't be bold, because you'll only regret it. Haaland, I think, will be, I'll be killing it today against Bournemouth. Is it today? Is it a 3 o'clocker? It is, yeah. Listen, join me for the watch along at 2:30. I'll be live at 2:30, obviously. Lineups come up at 2. I'll update me, watch along and all that sort of stuff. And then I will see you at 3 o'clock. Listen, over 400 people watching. Remember, this is going to be a regular thing. Match day preview on the day of the game. Please like the video on the way out and make sure you join me at 2:30. And listen, if you're watching the football at 12:30, enjoy that. It's Gerrard versus Lampard. I think Lampard's going to beat him. I think Gerrard could be up for the jump soon as well if he's not careful. But yeah, listen, enjoy the rest of your day. And I will leave you with a bit of this. Before we go into this, peace out, folks. See what happens. Arsenal started like a house on fire. Signing number 2 for this new era. It's Judgment Day, people. Yeah! What did your boy tell you? It was never in doubt. Never in